Hello everyone and welcome to another car profile where we're looking at the Toyota Supra there that you can see. The Supra concept, of course, that was introduced in Gran Turismo Sport. Not at the beginning of it, but during its life cycle. So this car was first revealed at the Geneva Motor Show as a real item. It existed at as a physical object that you could see, but not much was given in terms of details for the car. It was actually designed as a GTE car, not a GT3 car, believe it or not, based on the lights along the side of the car. Toyota, of course, have won the Manufacturer Series twice with this car, and this is the car we're going to look at today. So it is considered to be the meta car, or one of the meta cars, very much up there. So we are going to see where it fits on the leaderboard, which is going to be really interesting in this one. Now, in terms of this car, obviously it's designed with 50-50 weight distribution in mind. It's got really good handling. It really does have insane handling, I found this car. The front end just turns in, unlike, say, the Dodge Viper that we looked at previously. Let's get straight into the first lap then that we do, or the first test we look at, which is a low-speed BOP test, which we do at Laguna Seca. Now, why do we do a low, medium, and high-speed BOP test? It's because they are the three balance of performances that are in the game. They're currently all the same at the moment, but that's what we're looking at. So what we're going to do is compare faster slap versus faster slap, but in the end, we look at optimum overall. So as we come through sector 1 here, what we're looking like versus the Dodge Viper, we are 7,000ths up there on the Dodge Viper. So very close with that Dodge Viper, which has a similar sort of layout to this car. Front engine, rear wheel drive, but that Viper's got a bit bigger of a front end. Going through here with this car, you can abuse the gears quite a lot. It's got a lot of power there because it is a turbocharged engine, so it just picks up that speed very quickly as we go into this left. I did struggle a little bit on this corner, I've got to be honest. There's much slower than quite a lot of cars through that left-hander. Now, in terms of the overall lap that we do look at, we are comparing faster slaps right now as we go into the corkscrew. This car could handle this beautifully as we go through the right of the corkscrew there. And as we get to this section here, we are 2.5 tenths up here on that Viper then. We could be looking at a new fastest car here at Laguna Seca as we go into the right-hander. But we look at optimum, of course, in the end as an overall, because it's easier to get 10 optimum sectors on comparing different laps than it is to get 10 decent laps put together and pick the fastest lap. The optimum will give us a better picture. We head towards the line then, and what is this car going to come across at? 2 tenths up on the Dodge Viper then, a 121.5 there in terms of its fastest lap. But remember, we look at optimum, so we'll have a look there. So we have a new car that we will be comparing against going forward in these car profiles. But in terms of that leaderboard, where does it fit? Well, it's top there. It beats the Audi R8, which was originally top in terms of optimum. That Toyota Supra goes top then. So we always consider it a meta car at low speed. It's quite good there as well. As you see, it's ahead of that Audi R8 LMS car. That's it in terms of the low speed test. We're now going to go to a medium speed test, which of course is going to be Suzuka. This is the test that we do. And we go to the fastest lap here once again as we headed towards turn 1. So we do 10 laps on each of these circuits. 1 out lap, 10 fast laps. Times 1 fuel and tyre wear. The reason we do tyre wear on is because the cars drive completely differently without them. That's why Gran Turismo always have tyre wear on now in all of the races, because that's how they want the cars to drive, and that is why we're doing the test this way. So we're comparing against the Audi R8 then. That's the fastest lap here at the moment at Suzuka as we go through there. A little bit of a mistake there into the right-hander as we continue on through there, and we are 1 tenth down on that Audi R8. Now, it's very much a handling section, that first section, so it's not doing too bad there to be only 1 tenth down on that Audi R8 as we head towards Tidgney 1 and 2 then. We took it into here. It can handle the bumps really well, actually, to be fair, as we go down to second gear. We're going to short shift to third. Again, you could do this in this car, and it just pulls and pulls. And as we head towards the line then, we are 68,000ths up then on that Audi R8. Heading in towards the hairpin then. What can we do here as we go into the faster section of the circuit? And remember, this car is known for its speed. It really is. So we continue on out of there then through this right-hander, keeping it quite tight here. Again, with this car, it just turns in. It really does. It does struggle a little bit in sort of like the slow medium corners, but the high speed corners, it just flies through here. Spoon then. We go through there, go towards the outside. We drop to second gear, trying to get the car turned in. Short shift to third gear. Through we go. And no rotation this time. I did get a little bit of oversteer there a few times though, as we head towards 130R then. What we're looking like in terms of sector times, that's the next question. We're looking for a 37.8 in terms of the Audi R8. We're at a 37.5 here, 3.5 tenths up then into 130R we go. And look at the speed we can carry there versus some of the other cars we've tried here. That is an unbelievable speed then as we head into the Casio triangle as we get it turned in there. We're going to accelerate through this corner, beat it out of here very quickly and head towards that line there, taking the normal racing line of course as we head towards the line then. What's lap times this going to be? It is a 59.007, nearly 4 tenths up on the Audi R8. We have another new fastest lap here. Toyota Supra really showing that it is a really good car, and we did know that, and it's going into fruition here as well. In terms of optimums, then it is 3 tenths up on the next there, the joint P2 there of the Audi R8 and the Dodge Viper. This car is fast. It is very fast. It's very easy to drive as well. A little bit of oversteer here and there, especially in second and third gear. Obviously, we're on the medium tyre, not the harder tyre, so it's got a bit more grip on that rear end. We're doing the medium tyre because it's the middle tyre. You know, you've got soft and hard. We're doing the middle one, and this is why we're going to do the test on this. So we head to Bathurst for the high-speed test then as we go into the left-hander. Once again, it's going to be the last lap here in this car. I mean, we're really pushing ourselves with this car here. You can see our optimum down there already at 201.791. As we head towards sector 1, then we're racing the Corvette C7. That's got the fastest lap here at the moment in terms of the cars, and we are up here by 77 thousandths. But we do remember from the previous car profiles that sector 1 has always been a bit iffy for the Corvette versus all the other cars. As we continue on through here, I did actually suffer a crash there in that corner, and it's very easy to do in the Supra. As we come into here though, it just turns in nice and easy, no understeer there whatsoever. Going up here, a little bit of power oversteer, nothing major there as well, just the rear wheels just spinning up with the amount of power this has there. We grazed the wall slightly there, but we carry so much speed. There's no understeer in this car in the high speed corners. It just turns. Look at it just turn here now. It is absolutely ridiculous in the high speed corners. It just flies round, absolutely flies round. As we head towards the next sector then, what are we going to be up here? We are half a second up on the Corvette. That's how OP it is in those high speed corners. It flies. It absolutely flies. It's unbelievable, this car. It really is. As we head down to Forest Elbow then through the right and in towards this braking zone we go. Getting it stopped then through the left we go. As we get a little bit of oversteer there on exit. It was really hard to judge second, third gear there. Probably should have done it in third, but every time I did that, I did lose a little bit of time as well. So it's very hard to judge in this car as we head up towards the next sector then. This is where the Corvette really did dominate in terms of Forest Elbow. And you can see there we've lost 2.5 tenths, but we're still up by 2.5 tenths as well as we head in towards this final left-hander then. As we go into here, we managed to get the car stopped nicely. Very good on the brakes, this Toyota Supra. Through the right-hander we go then and head towards the last corner. Carried the speed very nicely indeed there. Our optimum's gone down there to a 201.5 at this moment in time as we go into the left. We're going to accelerate through here very nicely indeed. Doesn't really suffer with too much power oversteer there as we head towards the line then. What terms of laps have we get? 201.894, nearly half a second up again on that Corvette. It's the first car to get a fastest lap into the 201s. And what does it do in terms of the leaderboard then? Well, folks, it's nearly 4 tenths ahead of that Corvette. And it's honestly, the faster you go in this car, the more OP it is. And you've just seen that throughout. You know, it's low speed, it was near the top, basically top. Medium, it progressed a little bit. High speed, it just flies. And we know it pulls in 6th gear. We've seen that constantly. We see it in the daily race this week at Spa. In 6th gear, it just flies. It just pulls. So we go to the fuel test then. We're going to see what it's like on the fuel. Now, with this car, you don't go fully to the rev limiter, but of course, we've got the maximum RPM where it goes to the end of the bar. Then we shift. We've got quarter shift on the right and a quarter shift plus fuel map because we know fuel map is the worst way to save fuel, but we're going to do that at the bottom with fuel map 3 and the quarter shift there. Okay. And what we're going to do, we're going to go all the way to that 2,000 meter board. With this car, I found that you shift at about 7/8 in terms of maximum power, but it really didn't matter in terms of quarter and there. But as you see here, the maximum RPM actually a little bit quicker than the quarter shift, so it shows that the power band is a little bit further up in those gears there. And we finish on 54% fuel, and we do measure that time as well. 1/10 later, literally only 1/10 later, we save 5% fuel there with that quarter shift. So you can see there, performance-wise, very little difference there between the quarter and the maximum RPM. It's just a little bit quicker at maximum. Obviously, it's just under maximum in terms of that actual shift time that you saw on the laps. We finally finished with a quarter shift plus the fuel map there. Still under a second there in terms of performance and 67% fuel there, so that's 13% saved. We'll have a look at that in the grand scheme of the leaderboards. There are lots to take in now in terms of this fuel leaderboard, and I'm maybe breaking this down further in future ones, and it will be going on the website as well at some point, so do keep an eye out for that. But here we go. We kick off then. In terms of performance then, it's P4 overall there. So you see it's not actually the quickest overall there. Quarter shift then. It doesn't lose that much in terms of performance. It actually goes up a position there, up into P3 in the quarter shifts. As we go then to fuel map 3, where literally, look at that. It doesn't lose hardly any performance. Again, power cars, fuel map 3, they hardly lose anything. It's when you've got lower power and you go to fuel map 3, they start to lose. So we went from P4 to P3 to P2 there in terms of the fuel map as we get to the very end of the fuel map 3s there. Down in the 26s there for the Aston Martin DBR9 GT1. What we do next then is we're going to have a look at the actual times here, the performance lost from fuel saving, and literally it's second on the board there. So it's very good in terms of the quarter shift. You can see that there, and fuel map 3 as well. It doesn't lose that much at all in terms of performance. So it's very much up there. It can fuel save very nicely indeed, and that's critical in terms of this test. So if you do want to fuel save, you can fuel save in this Toyota Supra. As we go to the fuel level then, it doesn't actually save that much fuel compared to some of the other cars. As you see there, the top one there is 13. That's all it saves in the grand scheme of it, so it's not a big amount. Definitely could possibly save more there. It only saves 5 at a quarter there, so that's actually one of the lowest. And then fuel map 1 there is obviously it's P4 in the end there. You've got 60, 55, 55, 54, so it's round about where all the other cars are, but it's so dominant at tracks it shouldn't really have that sort of level. As we then go to the final ones there, where the Chevrolet Corvette at fuel map 1 flat out is down at the bottom there with the actual plus time there, because I remember it is slower than its quarter shift. Right, that's it in terms of the fuel test. You can see that it's very good at fuel saving, as in it doesn't lose that much performance, it just doesn't save that much fuel, if that makes any sense at all. So you can save fuel at no real performance loss, but it's just not as good as the others. On the tyre wear test now then, so what we do here is that we are on the maximum tyre wear, and we're going to stick to the inside line, and we're just going to go fast forward all the way until the first tyre loses its time. We then add up all the laps, including the outlap there, and then we measure how long it took to actually lose the first tyre. There is another test that I'm running separately here that's not in this video, where we actually look at 3 tyres being lost. So that's obviously FR versus MR, because the MR cars are going to lose the tyres quicker than FR cars, but we can compare versus the other FR cars here in terms of tyres lost. And as we get towards the end then, you can see that tyre is slowly coming down here as we go through the oval. Get showing its speed as well, staying above 170. Not all cars can do that, but we measure time, of course. And we've just lost the tyre there, the right rear tyre, at the 17.531 on lap 3 marker. So what we do then is we, as I say, we take all those lap times, so the 48.794, the 51.809, and the 17.531. We add that together, and that gives us an overall picture of how long the tyres last, or the first tyre lasts before it actually went to 0. We then have this leaderboard here, and it's actually P3 overall, and we know that Toyota Supra isn't the best at tyre saving. We know that, and you can see that quite clearly there with a 58.134. With the other test I'm doing, I can tell you it's actually really bad on the front tyres as well, and you will see that. In summary though, it is 1.2 seconds faster overall compared to the next fastest car. Yeah, this car is fast. It's very fast. I mean, I knew it was fast, but I didn't realize it was that fast. Look at that, 3 seconds faster than the Aston Martin DBR9. 3 seconds! Something needs to be done there. Something really needs to be done to bring that Aston Martin a bit more into play. But that is significant there, and you've seen that with this car profile. If you did like this car profile, do give it a like, and please do subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest car profiles that are coming out. They do come out every single week, except where I'm ill, like last week. As I say, that is it in terms of this one. If you want to watch the latest car profile, check it out there. If you want to watch the Beat the Meta that this was in, where it wasn't actually the Meta car at the time, it's on the right-hand side. But that's going to be it for me, folks. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you once again for watching, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.